think it's down to him and Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett from Pitt.
But Kenny Pickett's just the safe version. He's the Andy Dalton of this.
Right.
It's just, that seems not exciting.
I mean, yeah.
Strong agree.
Solak, lead us off here. Give us your first award you want to give out from the Combine if you're spending a week in Indy.
Absolutely. So my favorite part of Indy is, and I should say the Combine process, is something that we talked about a little bit on one of the previous shows, which is just the cut of the guy's jib, baby. I sit down with him, meet him for the first time. Is the handshake firm? All right. Clear answers.
Look you in the eye.
Yeah, exactly. Look me in the eye. And so this is the cut of the jib award. I'm a big fan of the cut of the jib. And this award
I don't
goes
know
to,
what that means. I've never heard cut of the jib.
You never heard the expression?
What?
Literally,
I like the cut of this guy's jib.
Yeah.
What?
I really don't.
That?
It honestly just means like I like this guy's vibe.
It's a sailing
Yes.
reference. Yeah.
So the jib
Yes.
was a sail, and you could tell looking at a ship far away if they were like based off the shape of their jib, if they were friend or foe. I don't know which shape meant what, or what those shapes like further implied beyond friend or foe, but I just know the jib, like that guy's got a square jib. We're chilling, baby. He's my boy. Like he's got a triangle jib. Sailors are very upset with me right now. Got a triangle jib.
Like, we're
He's
probably
spoiling for a fight.
this, but yeah.
I don't know if it was like all just pirates or if it was also like armadas and nations, whatever. But if you like the cut of a guy's jib, then you like the way your first impression of him is strong. Seems like a solid dude. And Malik Willis, quarterback out of Liberty, gets the cut of the Jib Award. Probably everybody now has seen by this point the video of Malik Willis stopping while he was walking on the streets of Indianapolis. There's a homeless woman, I believe it was, who was on the street, and Malik stopped. He opened his bag. He had like packs of clothes like the Combine gave him or were packed, for him. And he gives her a pack of the clothes, talks with her for a little bit, and then he goes on his way. Malik attended Liberty University, which is like a really, really, really Christian university. And Malik has been very outspoken about like believing in this sort of stuff. And so he's a very like every game's got like audience of one sort of stuff that's on his arms. And like he's a very faith-based guy. And so this is clearly something that's super important to him, but also like, not in a disparaging way, plays well for teams. Faith, football, family has always been a thing. Like the 3 F's have always been a thing that matters in this space. And so Malik, first, he's like a super faithful dude. And then you have reports from Ian Rappaport, says on the NFL Network desk, Rapp said it's been hard for teams to express what it's like interviewing Willis because Willis is so smart. He says he spoke to an offensive coordinator who said it's like the thoughts are overflowing in his brain. Jeff Howe of the Athletic, Liberty quarterback Malik Willis told me that teams have been surprised by his offensive knowledge overall and ability to retain offensive info and play calls. This is like a common occurrence in the draft where they're like, this quarterback played in a super simple offense. It often goes around black quarterbacks as well, where it's like he played in a super simple offense. Can he know what a defense is doing? And then they show up and like, yeah, like I know what I'm doing. And so it's resounding good interview reports from Malik as well. So you're hearing that just like teams like him. They like the way he behaves. They like the way he understands offense. He's really good on the board. They like the cut of his jib. And so in terms of this quarterback position that we've been looking for a guy, it really feels like Malik killed this week, even without running. He threw very well, but he interviewed really well. So the cut of the Jib Award, Malik Willis.
This also, Craig, what were you going to say?
I have a question. Did the tape reflect what these interviews illuminated? Like, could you tell on tape that perhaps he was smarter than his offensive scheme suggested?
So, like, that's always like a difficult thing is to read those tea leaves. In general, I would say no. Like, Malik's play style is very frenetic. And so oftentimes when a guy has a frenetic play style, you read between the lines and you say, you don't really know what he's looking at, right? A lot of Malik's interceptions, too, were him getting really fooled pre-snap to post-snap. So there's stuff that needs to be cleaned up there that I still think needs to be cleaned up there in terms of processing and like that kind of like football intelligence, FBIQ that we talk about. But for the fact that he was able to go up on the board and like new protections, new pro concepts, because those are stuff like he didn't have to set protections, he didn't have to run pro concepts in Liberty offense. That is to his benefit. And not just knowing those ideas, but how you communicate those ideas, right? Coaches practice communication. How do I get an idea across to a guy? And so when a quarterback can go up on the board and speak with clarity, speak with incisiveness, know what matters and say it in a strong way, that strength of communication resonates with those guys because that's what they work on year round.
Yeah. Also, it's like coaches these days, I think, or maybe forever, have always believed like teaching is very important. You have to be able to learn too. Like as a player, you have to be able to absorb that information and apply it. I think that's why coaches get so excited when a guy is able to go up on the blackboard or the whiteboard or whatever and like, do plays, figure things out that they're asking them live. It's not like they come prepared with like a speech. It's like you have to react to what the things that the scenarios that they're telling you. And then, so the ability to learn, absorb that, and then apply it on the field, I think are really important things. This also bolsters, I think, what we had heard coming out of the Senior Bowl, which was he would come in and command the huddle, come in and like the guys all rallied around him, like glommed onto him kind of deal. Like he's just a leader. I think that's also, again, these are intangible. So it's hard to know firsthand what really happens in the huddle, but these are the reports that you're hearing. So that's an important thing. I always go back to the, and this example I think stood out to me, obviously, because I was covering the Seahawks at the time. But when Russell Wilson was drafted by the Seahawks, he came in, like, it was only a couple weeks after the draft and essentially ran their rookie camp. So the teams run rookie camp where it's like a bunch of rookies, a bunch of free agent guys. It's like a lot of these guys are just trying out. They're not even on the roster necessarily. And Wilson came in and he ran the entire camp. He knew the playbook. He did all this stuff. And this is like just one anecdote, but kind of like, I think it points to what Solak is saying here is like Willis seems to have sort of that it factor or whatever as a leader, as a guy who can retain information. So these are important things. Again, we won't really see them bear out, for the next few months here, but I know teams definitely believe in this stuff for sure.
So without putting this all together, DK, you've said that Malik Willis is going to be the second best running quarterback in the NFL once he gets to the NFL behind Lamar Jackson. Arm strength wise, it's like not quite Josh Allen, but he has one of the biggest arms that would be in the entire NFL. After all this, now you're hearing about these other parts of his, of his profile. Do you think he should go be the number one quarterback taken in the draft?
I think it's starting to feel like he's going to be, for sure. He's definitely got the momentum going in his direction. I think there's probably going to be some teams who go with Kenny Pickett. I think it's down to him and Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett from Pitt.
But Kenny Pickett's just the safe version. He's the Andy Dalton of this.
Right.
It's just, that seems not exciting.
I mean... Yeah.
Strong agree.
I think you laid it out there.
You know what, though? Can we briefly talk about the Kenny Pickett versus Malik Willis thing? Because it seems like everyone's on the Malik Willis train right now. And man, him helping the homeless woman, I mean, if we had to rank all-time best looks that anyone's ever had at a combine, is that number one? I mean, like off the field, I mean, like what a tremendous example of his character.
For context, really, if you didn't see this, basically a reporter was sitting across the street eating at a restaurant or something, and he videotaped Willis as he was walking down the street in Indianapolis. So it seems as though it was a genuine in the moment act, like how you act when no one is watching type moment. And obviously that's a cliche, but like
we hope.
Yes. If he set it up, look, I think that's like Machiavellian and brilliant. Like, good for him. If he set that up and like planned
that would be all time if he set that up. Right? Oh my God.
I mean, like, part of me thinks that's even more impressive because then you're like,
it is like stock. Really, I very much agree. It is stock up both directions. Either way.
Malik Willis is also logged in Calvin Ridley's account by putting all the parlays.
Right.
Yeah, he'd be like really a generous guy, but also like just like a winner. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
this is such a classic example of how like dumb the draft is, because if you just like a player, you like him. If you don't, you don't. So it's like Malik, great dude, loves others, believes, and then and then you learn it's a setup. You're like Malik, gamer, knows how to work the system. It's just like whatever we need to say, we can say.
But I feel like right now it's Malik Willis's time right now. No one's talking about Kenny Pickett. Yet he remains on the fringe of perhaps being the first quarterback taken in the draft. Right. Can somebody give me some positives about Kenny Pickett? Everyone's been disparaging him for his hand size. Like, why is he still almost the first quarterback taken?
Him. So I would say, like, I'll go quick and then you can echo whatever and give your take. I think number one, his improvement this last year, I think, was very, very impressive. Like the way he was able to run that offense, the way he was able to basically get everybody on the same page. He elevated his teammates. He came in. He's very good in the pocket. He can manipulate the pocket, move around, escape the pressure, make plays out of structure. And like some of the throws he made out of the pocket were incredibly impressive. So I think Pickett is obviously like his stock has gone down because of the hand narratives and everything.
But is there anything else? Did he do anything else to hurt his stock at the combine other than have small hands?
Not at the combine. I would say his senior bowl.
He didn't throw as well. Like Pickett, they're throwing that 9 ball, and Pickett's 9 ball was always going to die because he has like a fine arm, and Malik was launching that thing into a stratosphere. Malik's got flight codes, man.
I like that.
So I don't know. it's like going back to the floor versus ceiling argument.
I think
Okay,
that's
all
the
right.
new jargon we need. We need like a new wave of jargon. I think flight codes. I like that better for like a
It's
big
worth
quarterback.
noting, just as a quick emphasis, that we're talking about that's like who's the first guy right now. Books wise, Malik Willis minus 125 to be the first quarterback selected. Kenny Pickett plus 190. Matt Corral plus 240. So as far as books see it, Willis is further away from 2 than 2 is of 3. So I would say right now Willis is going to be 1. That's a 60%, 62% proposition.
What do you think? Top 10?
Yeah.
Ben, right
I
now
think
you
so,
have
too.
gun to your head. What team is he going to?
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh, they trade up?
Yeah.
I'm going to say
like,
Washington.
Willis.
I'm going to say
Yeah.
Washington.
Now, Ron Rivera said during the combine that this team needs a vet, which would be a pretty good head fake, but the free agency comes before the draft. So it's actually not, because we'll know if you're not
You'll
bringing
know.
in a vet by the time we get to the draft.
Fair.
Yeah. So I think Washington, coming into the week,
Also, who's the vet?
Yeah.
Jacoby Brissett? Like,
Taylor
who are they-
Heineke.
Carson Wentz.
Mitchell.
Oh, God. He's a vet?
Mitchell?
Mitch Trubisky's
Technically,
already a vet?
yeah,
Second contract, baby. Third contract, technically.